Okay, so you want to own a vehicle inspection station. In your head, the business looks simple. Cars arrive, a technician checks brakes, lights, tires, emissions, and a steady line of drivers pays because the law tells them to. No expensive inventory, no fashionable product to guess, no need to persuade customers that they need an inspection sticker. Picture 8 cars waiting outside at 8 a.m., each one representing guaranteed demand. At Virginia's $20 inspection price, 40 vehicles a day appears to create $800 of revenue. Repeat that across 22 working days, and the station seems to produce more than $17,000 a month before repairs, emissions tests, or fleet work. Except the queue is not the business. The inspection fee may be capped, the labor cannot be rushed, specialized equipment sits idle, and one failed car can occupy a bay while producing almost no extra inspection revenue. The real value may come from repair authorization, repeat customers, commercial contracts, location, and how many legal inspections one certified technician can process without compromising the rules. And there is a larger problem. Your demand is created by regulation. That sounds dependable until a legislature changes it. Texas eliminated most non-commercial safety inspections in 2025, instantly rewriting the economics for stations built around them. So this is not merely a garage with mandatory customers. It is a regulated capacity business whose small fee must support people, property, equipment, and risk. To know whether it works, we have to start with what you are actually buying. What you are buying is not really an inspection station. Virginia's own rules define an official station as a garage or facility that performs vehicle repairs as a routine business. That single detail changes the entire investment. The inspection is the doorway. The workshop behind it is where the economics become interesting. There are 3 practical ways to enter. The cheapest is to add one certified inspection lane to an existing repair shop. The second is to acquire a small garage that already has its appointment, equipment, technicians, and local reputation. The third is to build a larger operation around safety inspections, emissions testing, repair work, and fleet accounts. A pure inspection-only model sounds clean, but the regulated fee leaves very little room for rent, labor, insurance, and idle time. The integrated repair model is usually stronger because the same bay, technician, waiting room, and customer visit can support several types of revenue. Suppose you lease a 3-bay building rather than purchasing the real estate. A realistic planning model might allocate $35,000 for deposits, signs, minor renovations, office setup, and permits, $70,000 for lifts, brake and lighting equipment, tools, compressors, diagnostic systems, and shop furniture, $30,000 for computers, management software, initial parts, legal work, and pre-opening marketing, and another $90,000 as working capital. That produces a starting requirement of roughly $225,000 before the owner draws a salary. This is not a universal quote. A former repair shop with usable equipment could open for much less. A ground-up facility in an expensive Northern Virginia market could require several times more, especially if land is included. The important point is that the inspection certificate itself is not the expensive asset. The costly part is maintaining a compliant, staffed automotive business around it. Virginia requires an appropriate inspection lane, necessary equipment, at least one qualified safety inspector, regular public availability, and at least $500,000 in garage liability coverage for most public stations. Then comes the revenue engine. For an ordinary passenger vehicle, the legal maximum safety inspection charge is $20, and the station sends 70 cents to the state. That leaves $19.30 before technician wages, payroll taxes, rent, utilities, supplies, software, insurance, and administration. A same-station reinspection during the rejection period can bring only one additional dollar. So, failing more vehicles does not automatically create a wonderful pile of inspection fees. Regulation has already removed that particular temptation from the spreadsheet. Consider a hypothetical shop completing 20 safety inspections per weekday. Across 22 working days, that is 440 inspections. At $19.30 retained per vehicle, inspection revenue after the state assessment is about $8,492 a month. Useful, certainly. Transformational? No. Now give those 440 visits a second economic role. Assume 15% of customers approve separately quoted work discovered during the process. Perhaps worn brake pads, a damaged light assembly, unsafe tires, steering wear, or another repair the inspection identifies. That is 66 repair orders. If the average approved job produces $260 in sales, repair revenue linked to inspection traffic becomes $17,160. Add the inspection revenue, and those same visits generate approximately $25,652. Revenue is still not profit. If parts and directly productive labor absorb roughly 55% of the repair sales in this simplified model, the repair contribution is about $7,722. Add the $8,492 retained from inspections, then subtract perhaps $5,500 of inspection labor and lane-related operating cost, and the combined monthly contribution is around $10,700 toward rent, front desk payroll, insurance, debt payments, owner compensation, and profit. That calculation explains the first major advantage. The customer acquisition cost can be unusually low. Drivers already need the inspection. You are not spending heavily to convince them to invent a problem. You are paying to become the convenient, trusted place where a required task gets completed. If the experience is fast, transparent, and professional, some of those customers return later for oil changes, tires, diagnostics, and repairs that have nothing to do with the original sticker. The strongest customer may not be the driver who approves a large repair today. It may be the driver who returns for the next 5 years. One honest $20 visit can introduce the shop to a household with 2 vehicles, then to a teenager's first car, then to a neighbor who asks where the family goes for service. That is why reputation matters more here than aggressive selling. The inspection creates access. Trust determines whether access becomes lifetime value. Emissions testing can add another layer in eligible Northern Virginia areas. The state says there are more than 500 permitted emission stations, and the program's rules require participating stations to provide substantial weekly availability. The maximum customer charge can reach $30 depending on the inspection pathway, while failed vehicles may qualify for a free retest at the original station. Once again, the test itself is modest revenue, but it creates diagnostic and repair opportunities when handled within the program's rules. A well-run operation, therefore, looks less like a queue and more like a controlled flow system. Appointments are spaced so inspections do not block higher-value repairs. Walk-ins fill unused capacity. A certified inspector is available throughout the required business period, but other technicians keep the remaining bays productive. Customers receive photographs or clear explanations of defects. Repairs are offered without pressure. Parts arrive quickly. Fleet clients are scheduled during predictable windows. The owner watches revenue per bay, technician productivity, comeback rates, and how many inspection customers return for paid service. Imagine our hypothetical shop reaches 30 inspections a day while keeping 2 repair bays busy. The extra 10 daily inspections add only about $4,246 in monthly retained inspection revenue. Yet, if they generate 33 additional approved repair orders at the same average value, they may add another $8,580 in repair sales. This is the point at which the opportunity begins paying off. Not when every parking space is full, but when inspection traffic reliably feeds profitable work without disrupting the work already scheduled. The opportunity is real. A capable operator can turn a low-priced, mandatory service into recurring customer relationships, repair demand, emissions work, fleet contracts, and a defensible local reputation. But every number we have just used depends on one variable more than any other: It is not how many cars enter the property. It is how effectively each bay hour is converted into trustworthy, billable work. And what happens when the inspection lane starts consuming the very capacity that is supposed to make the business profitable? That variable is bay utilization. An inspection lane can be busy all day and still be the least productive square footage in the building. Every inspection occupies a bay, requires a certified employee, and earns a tightly limited fee. If the process takes 30 minutes, the station may retain less than $40 per lane hour before wages and overhead. A repair bay producing $200 of gross profit during the same hour is doing something financially different, even though the waiting room looks equally full. This is why the inspection lane must remain available without becoming a traffic jam. Virginia requires an approved lane and, for a normal full-time station, an inspector available during the business day. The rules also expect repairs to happen elsewhere, so the inspection lane remains usable. That turns labor scheduling into the first hidden mechanism. A certified inspector who is constantly pulled onto repair jobs creates delays. An inspector who does nothing but $20 checks may be underused. The owner must combine appointments, walk-ins, repairs, and staffing, so paid hours are productive without treating the legal process like a sales funnel with a steering wheel attached. The second mechanism is conversion quality, not conversion rate alone. A shop can approve work on 25% of inspected vehicles and still damage itself if customers believe every failure is an upsell. Inspection authority creates trust only while the station behaves like an independent evaluator. Clear photographs, written estimates, permission before repairs, and the freedom to take the vehicle elsewhere protect the relationship. A lower conversion rate with strong repeat business may be worth more than a month of aggressive repair sales followed by years of terrible reviews. Time changes the equation. During the first months, inspection traffic may cover part of payroll while the repair bays build a customer base. Around break-even, each additional inspection matters mainly when it leads to future service or fills otherwise idle technician time. In a strong year, repeat customers and fleet accounts reduce marketing costs. In a slow year, the inspection volume may remain steady while repair approvals fall because households postpone non-urgent work. The cars still arrive. The profitable work does not necessarily arrive with them. Equipment age creates another pressure. Lifts, compressors, analyzers, diagnostic tools, computers, and shop doors do not fail politely one at a time. Maintenance is irregular, while inspection prices remain controlled. A $12,000 equipment replacement cannot simply be added to tomorrow's sticker price. The station needs cash reserves because accounting profit from last month does not repair a lift this morning. Then there is regulatory exposure. Texas provides the clearest recent warning. On January 1st, 2025, the state eliminated safety inspections for most non-commercial vehicles. Emissions tests continued in designated counties, and commercial vehicles still required safety inspections. The Texas Register identified 10,951 stations licensed for non-commercial safety inspections, with 10,732 categorized as micro-businesses. A station built primarily around ordinary passenger car checks could therefore lose its legally created traffic without losing its rent, equipment payments, or payroll. That is not proof that inspection stations are bad businesses. It is proof that mandatory demand belongs partly to the legislature. The owner controls service quality, staffing, repair pricing, and customer retention. The owner does not control whether lawmakers keep the mandate. Two mistakes cause most of the financial damage in our model. The first is buying volume instead of buying economics. Paying a premium for a station because it performs thousands of inspections is dangerous if those inspections consume the only useful bay and rarely produce repeat service. The second is underfunding working capital. Owners often budget for lifts and signs because they are visible, then treat 6 months of payroll, rent, insurance, parts, and repairs as an optional extra. The building may open beautifully and run out of cash before the customer base matures. Now consider three outcomes for the hypothetical 3-bay Virginia shop. In an optimistic but credible year, it completes about 30 inspections each weekday, earns repair approval from roughly 1 in 5 inspection customers, and maintains additional repeat and fleet work. Monthly revenue might reach $75,000. Parts, direct technician labor, occupancy, administration, insurance, marketing, software, maintenance, and debt service could consume about $60,000. The remaining $15,000 is operating profit before owner taxes and major expansion spending. At that pace, the business may stabilize within 12 to 18 months, while recovering the original capital could still take 3 to 5 years. The realistic version is less glamorous. The station completes 20 inspections a day, converts around 15% into approved repairs, and generates enough unrelated service work to bring monthly revenue to roughly $45,000. Higher wages, 2 quiet weeks, slower parts delivery, and ordinary equipment maintenance reduce the operating surplus to perhaps $4,000. The owner has created a viable job and a modest return, but not a machine that prints money whenever a car enters the car park. In the difficult scenario, inspections fall to 15 a day, repair conversion slips below 10%, one technician leaves, and a major equipment bill arrives. Revenue drops below $30,000, while fixed commitments remain near their previous level. The station begins losing several $1,000s a month, not because inspections disappeared, but because low-value activity occupied capacity without supporting enough profitable work. So, can owning a vehicle inspection station work? Yes, particularly for an experienced repair operator who already understands staffing, compliance, local demand, and customer trust. It is strongest as an integrated automotive service business, not as a lonely inspection lane carrying an entire company on a $20 fee. Virginia currently permits a $20 charge for most vehicle safety inspections, with 70 cents transmitted to the state police. Ownership becomes dangerous when the purchase price assumes every queue is valuable, when debt requires perfect utilization, or when the owner depends on a regulation that can be rewritten. Return to that line of cars outside at 8 in the morning. At first, it looked like guaranteed revenue. Now it looks like something more conditional, a stream of opportunities entering a building where time, trust, and bay capacity decide what each visit is worth. The sticker brings the car through the door. The business survives on what happens without abusing that privilege. Subscribe for more investigations into the hidden economics of the things people buy, build, and own. And comment with the next business you want examined.